You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this? It's all in the reflexes.
Hello, hello. I'm Katie, and welcome to the premiere of Retromade, your pop culture rewind. Ready to take a trip down memory lane? In case you missed the season 1 trailer, I hope you'll be excited to hear that season 1 is dedicated to the ultimate everyman, Kurt Russell and Patrick Swayze. We're going to travel back to July of 1986 to discuss a Kurt Russell cult classic and all of the other goings-on of the time. Now, I have a super special guest to introduce. The man who got me hooked on podcasts and took a chance on me as a co-host of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. He also started an entire network of action podcasts from back in the day called the Last of the Action Heroes Podcast Network. The one, the only, Ryan Revolkin.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I almost felt like I was somebody just for a second there, Katie. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on my very first episode of Retromade. You have, 20 different shows now? Or
Stop it.
Tell me about it.
No, I don't. I have a lot, but let me just say, I have a lot, but I don't have a lot. Let me just talk about you first. And let's talk about you only. You're the host of the show. I just want to say I feel like a proud father because for your listeners, I mean, I'll be very brief because it's going to involve me. I don't want to make this about me, but yes, I do a Rocky podcast, but the first one I did was called Glow in the Distance, which you were a listener of, and you emailed me, and I really liked your thoughts, and I forget what it was that triggered me, but I was looking for, another co-host for One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast, when I was going to look into the Rocky films for the second time, kind of go through it one more time, all 6 films. And I already had Kyle, our co-host, with me, but I was like, I had my brother, then Kyle finish up Going the Distance, but I kind of want to do something fresh now. I know this sounds totally, I don't know how to say it other than just, I wanted a female perspective. I wanted a female voice. I thought it would just add more flavor to the show and to myself too. I didn't want to hear other guys just keep talking. I wanted I wanted a different flavor. I don't know how to describe it. And you co-hosted as a guest host. I literally put you on the spot. I said, come do a episode with me. If you hate it, don't worry about it. Nobody will know it was a trial. And we trialed it, and you had a blast. You were great. You're fantastic. I mean, for a woman, you're not bad. So it was. Sorry, but you're absolutely amazing. And then when you told me months and years later, whatever it is that you're going to do this Retromade podcast, I was so proud. I was so happy. It's like, wow, she's branching out. She's tackling this on her own because she's got the bug. Like you said, it's a fun hobby, and I want to say congratulations to you and all the best. I want your show to kill it, and yeah, I'm just very excited.
Thank you so much. Well, I almost don't know what to say, but thank you. All right. Well, so as I mentioned, we're going to travel back in time to July of 1986 for today's movie. Okay. So let's set that stage by opening the time capsule from that time.
So what is that time? Explain to me what the time capsule is.
Well, we'll get into it just momentarily.
Oh, I'm excited. Well, this is the premiere episode, so this is like everyone's hearing this kind of thing for the first time. I'm really excited for this.
Guinea pigging it.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Okay, so I had to share that specifically because, as you mentioned, all the feels, Cheers was one of the popular TV shows at the time, according to Nielsen ratings. It, along with some others that I'll get into, but specifically Cheers and the feels, I always got a homesick feeling with that theme song. Was it just me? No. That's the best way I could describe it.
You weren't even born in 86. How could you even know? So I was 11 years old in 86. And I definitely watched Cheers, but I was young when Cheers came out, like a young, like adolescent teenager who had a long run. But I enjoyed it for Woody and all the characters, Norm and Cliff. I appreciate it more as an adult, but I just want to say, like, I just miss those sitcom days. And I know you're a big sitcom lover as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm the youngest. I don't know where you are in family order. So as the youngest, I think I was just like the least sheltered. So I saw things earlier. I relate more to things that are a little bit older than me. And Cheers was on for several seasons and seeing it in reruns and stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's
But
on Paramount Plus now, I think, for me, or I don't know what network's on.
Oh,
for you.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love Frasier. I'm a huge Frasier nut. I've seen that all the way through 3 or 4 times. That is my comfort. I love Frasier. I love it, love it, love it.
So I don't love it, but I can see why it's fine. Like, I don't dislike, it's not one of my all-time ultimate favorites, but it was one of a few spinoffs from Cheers. So that's essentially what the time capsule is, to get to your point, is we're going to kind of take a peek at some other pop culture things, whether it's TV, cartoons, snacks,
right,
music,
all
11
years, 11
yeah.
this time. Right. Okay.
I think I was 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Depending on when it aired. But like I said, I was watching whatever my parents were watching, whatever my grandparents were watching, my sisters were watching.
Yeah, I was third of 4. Sorry, yes.
In the birth order?
So I only one younger brother, but my parents were pretty good about, they didn't, we're 80s babies too. So I think it's just, they weren't really monitored the way, and we didn't watch anything highly inappropriate, but I mean, I watched a lot of Terminator and Rambo and RoboCop, all these movies when I was 11, 12 years old. So I mean, whatever, I survived.
Yeah, same. Same. But also it was just different then. Like, the world didn't revolve around children, I guess, like it sort of does now. I don't know. Your kids watched what you wanted to watch and not vice versa. That's right. It seems.
That's right.
Also, so according to Nielsen ratings, in July of 1986, in addition to Cheers, we have The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Family Ties.
Oh, I love it.
Murder, right? Murder, She Wrote. Do you remember Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah.
My mom liked it.
Yeah. Murder, She Killed Me with Boredom.
Angela Lansbury just recently passed, I think.
Rip to her. But yeah, all I remember with Murder, She Wrote, she narrated it at the typewriter, and she's an old lady solving crimes. Like, come on.
Yep. It was a thing back in the 80s.
It was, but no, I mean, I was 12 years old. What do you think? I'm going to watch this geriatric woman at a typewriter? Like, holy smokers.
Okay.
The A-Team.
Was that, I think, was that during that time? Okay.
I think
So The Golden Girls also, for basically every movie that I do in the 80s, that's going to be in the top Nielsen ratings because it was an amazing show. Yeah. It's awesome.
I watched it back then. Absolutely. Yeah.
So good. And then Dynasty, which I didn't. I'm unfamiliar with Dynasty. I'm aware of it. So those were like the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows. And then there were some interesting shows that premiered in 86.
Okay.
Alf. Did you watch Alf?
Yes, but stupid. He always wanted to eat the cat. That's all I remember from that. It was Alien. He always wanted to eat the cat. Apparently he had but he never did eat the cat, but he always wanted to eat the cat. I think the house cat, and then the alien from everyone else. I don't know. Anyways, yes. It just was a ridiculous puppet show. Yeah.
It was ridiculous, but it's on some channel in syndication now. I recently watched an episode. It's actually not terrible, but the premise is crazy. Anyway, Designing Women, LA Law, which I don't really watch. Head of the Class. Do you remember that one? It's like the teacher. I think it was high school.
Was that the same teacher that was the actor that was in WKRP? Is that the same guy?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. I just never watched it, but I watched WKRP, which is weird. But I didn't watch him
because that was even earlier.
Yeah, it was even earlier. But I watched WKRP, Les Nessman in the News. I love that. Yeah. Sorry.
I vaguely remember that. Perfect Strangers was another one that
was
premiered.
Was it Laka or Vodka? Was his not Laka? That was Taxi. What was this guy's
Balki.
Balki. Thank you. Yeah.
Bronson Pinchot. I thought that was cute.
It was okay.
Amen.
No.
With the guy from the Jeffersons.
Right, of course.
Our House, which the name might not sound familiar, but I almost had forgotten about it, except it's with Wilford Brimley and Shannon Doherty. Does this seem familiar to anyone?
Is Wilford Brimley, he's the guy with diabetes? That's him, right?
Yep, that's him. Yep.
I think he died of diabetes, I think.
Maybe. I remember watching that show with my grandparents, vaguely. And then one of the most famous shows ever, The Oprah Winfrey Show, premiered in 1986.
Wow.
I think it's been on ever since. Or I don't know, maybe it's not still on. I don't know.
No, it's not on anymore. I know this. Come on
Okay.
now. Come on. No, it's been off the air for almost probably 10 to 15 years at least. The O Network, and she had that for a while.
And
I don't know if that's still a thing. And then she had the O Magazine. What I love about the O Magazine is she's on the front of every cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So picture it, 1986 Canada. Was there anything else that you recall watching? What was prime time in the Revolcom
18.
household?
Like 18, we watched 18.
Okay.
That was like my treat to be able to stay up until 8 o'clock or start at 8 o'clock NBC Thursday nights. And because we were my parents were pretty strict about some things, i.e. bedtimes, school nights.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Nowadays, kids are like, my kids have no idea. They don't even understand. Whatever. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The chickens run the hen now. Or was it the chickens run the, what's the term? There's a term about that.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not sure.
The bosses don't run the houses anymore, so the kids do.
Yeah.
What sticks out to me, I remember 18 for sure. I stopped watching cartoons around 11, 12 years old. But I was huge into wrestling. So during this time, I was watching WWF, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Macho Man, all that stuff, Andre the Giant, the WrestleManias, Saturday night's main events. All my wrestler listeners, definitely, if you have anyone who loves the 80s and 90s listening to your podcast, they're going to be wrestling fans. If they're a guy, I'm sure there's girl fans, but guys were into this.
Because that good segue for me, Ryan, because actually we'll circumvent the cartoons for a second. We'll come back to that because it was a freaking killer lineup in 1986.
Oh, yeah.
But the midday programming was American Bandstand.
Oh, right.
Which I don't actually recall ever watching. My reference to it was from the movie Can't Buy Me Love, where the African anteater dance. Do you remember that movie? And the kid watches. He goes to a dance.
See, you got to remember, I was 11, 12 years old. So I'm watching action, not romantic 80s comedies. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching anything that has adrenaline type movies.
I would be surprised if you haven't seen it. It's kind of one of the go-tos.
I know the movie. I've heard of it, but I actually haven't seen it. Nowadays, I probably have fun watching it. But just as 11, 12-year-old, when I went to go to the video store or the movie theaters, it was high-octane type films.
Sure. So that was the midday programming along with Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling.
Yes, the cartoon.
Was that okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I watched that.
And so then, the WWF, as it was known at the time, right? It wasn't the WWE?
Yeah, it wasn't WWE until like 2002 or something.
Okay. But yeah, you mentioned, and again, I'm like 5 years old, but I watched wrestling with one of my grandpas. Like he was a big wrestling fan. So I'm familiar with all of these guys, and it brings back such 80s memories. I can picture sitting on the living room floor of my grandparents' house watching it. But yeah, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper. So these are the guys of 86, apparently. Oh, yeah. Tell me if I'm missing someone. You said Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant, Macho Man, Randy Savage. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Junkyard Dog, the British Bulldogs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
the Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik, yes, that's who Hogan won the belt from for the first time. Was the Iron Sheik?
Oh, really? Yeah. Did you see? There was a documentary about him, which was actually really sad.
I haven't seen it yet.
Recently.
I have not. The Sheik one, I have not seen.
Yeah,
I would like to.
Had trouble. Also, in my research for this, did not know this was a real thing. Okay, so you know how there was a Netflix series called Glow, The Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling?
Yes, that was a real wrestling show. Yes, and I watched it. Absolutely. Real thing. Real deal.
I love the Netflix did not know it was a real thing, but it premiered in 1986.
Oh, nice. And guess who Mother had a hand in it?
One Mr. Sylvester Stallone? That's Jackie Stallone?
Yeah, she did. She had a hand in that management. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So I know that you were a little older, but from a cartoon perspective, what were your cartoons?
Well, Transformers the movie came out, and this was a big deal. So it came out in 86, and I saw this in the theater. So I kind of stopped watching Transformers, but I feel like I was always born in the perfect time, because when I stopped watching Transformers as I got older, I've seen every episode, but I'm not going to watch every Saturday morning cartoon of it anymore at 11. But the movie came out, and the movie was one of the best movies ever made. Of course, it has the movie soundtrack, another Rocky connection with Vince DiCola does the movie soundtrack for Transformers the movie.
Oh.
It's one of the best badass movie soundtracks of all time. Again, anyone listening to this podcast has to look. If you don't like Transformers the movie and you're a guy, I'm just going to call you out right now, and you're listening to this podcast, you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast, because this is about that retro 86 Transformers movie, the soundtrack. And what this movie was for was they're killing off the old guard. So when we saw this in the theaters, all the the Transformers characters, like the Autobots and the Decepticons, got killed in the film to make way for the new toy line that was coming out. So Optimus Prime actually got killed in the film, and it broke my heart. It's one of the most heartbreaking moments of my childhood, because I felt as I was getting older, I'm now getting older. I'm putting away childish things, so to speak. But to watch one of my heroes of the cartoon TV screen being killed on the movie screen was mind blowing and brave as a studio. I went in there not knowing that he was going to kill, because in cartoons on TV, there's no killing.
That's true.
The characters never kill each other. In the movie screen, this is now rated probably almost a PG-13, but it was PG at the time in '86. You could tell it was different. Even as a kid, like, oh, they're breaking the rules here, or these characters are dead because there's no more cartoons with these characters. They have new toys coming out, and that included Optimus Prime. He was the leader, and he got killed. For Rodimus Prime was the new young upstarter Transformer, and and I know it sounds silly, and one of the human characters, Spike, who was in the cartoon as well, he swore on the movie, and so I guess kids were like, "Whoa!" He said the S word, and to hear
you have a very vivid memory of this.
It's a childhood memory, being the big Transformers on the big screen in high, animation quality. And then, of course, watching these characters that I watched for years now being killed in front of me. In the first 15 minutes, it was like literally in the first 15 minutes, they wiped out all the old characters. Anyways, I'm getting kind of nerdy.
I love it. So I'm not a dude. I have more peripheral memories of Transformers. I remember the cartoon, and I remember the toys. I remember playing with the toys.
Right. They weren't cheap either. For Christmas and birthdays, but that was always a big ask. Mom, can I have a Transformer? Because they were probably $25-$30 in '86 for one toy in '86, which is like $75.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's similar to Cabbage Patch or a Barbie or something like that.
They weren't cheap, and they had some knock ones. They could always tell they never transformed properly. They broke when you bent them the wrong way. Yeah,
I love it. It wasn't actually part of the Saturday morning cartoon lineup.
No, they were after
for this
school.
Year.
Oh, they were after school cartoon, I think. It wasn't Saturday morning cartoons.
Got it. Oh, God, there were so many after school cartoons,
He-Man
too, that were fun.
Was after school.
Oh.
Transformers, G.I. Joe. Those were the big ones. Saturday morning were more, like Ghostbusters. The cartoon was a Saturday morning one.
It was Wuzzles.
Oh, right. I had a stuffed Wuzzle. Rhinoki.
Wuzzles weren't huge for us, but Care Bears were.
I saw Care Bears, the movie, in the theaters too as a kid.
You did not.
Yeah, I did. We did.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, we saw Care Bears. I think it was the second one too, Care Bears. I think, but I had a younger brother, and I think my mom says, "You're going to the movies." This is back when parents just sent their kids to the movies. Like
walk or ride your bike.
I'm 9 years old. My brother's 7 or whatever, and I took him to Care Bears. And then, I ended up kind of enjoying it. Like, what do you call it? Like,
well, yeah.
I'm not going to tell anyone I like this film. And then what else? We had a Wuzzle. Yeah. I had a Rhinoki. It was part rhinoceros and part monkey. Rhinoki. I loved them. Yeah.
I can picture them, and I think we watched the cartoon.
They're
but
basically
for whatever reason,
they were crossbreeding animals. That's all they were. They were. They're just like if a rhinoceros and a monkey had a baby, it'd be a Rhinoki. That's all it was. They're crossing the DNA of two animals, putting them together. Bubble lion, those bubble lions.
God, you have such a good memory.
This is also on top of my head. You think I did research or something? I lived the 80s.
No, that's what I mean. I'm saying you have a really good memory.
I was an 80s kid. Like, I was born in 75, so I was 5 to 15 in the 80s, right? So I lived that whole decade.
Vague memories of these things. So the Flintstones kids, Muppet Babies. Ooh, I loved the Muppet Babies.
That was, I think, was Muppet Babies.
Well, this was the lineup for 86.
Oh, okay.
So this is our time capsule for 86. Yeah. It was a killer.
Yeah,
lineup.
I watched
there
the
was
Muppets,
also
but not the Muppet Babies. Yeah.
Muppet Babies, and I remember McDonald's Happy Meal had the little toys.
Back when Happy Meal's toys were good quality toys back.
I haven't been to a McDonald's in literally like 30 years, probably, but I remember toys. Bugs Bunny Tweety Show, The Real Ghostbusters, the all new Ewoks, Berenstain Bears, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Kissy Fur. I feel like not I'm kind of unfamiliar with Kissy Fur.
No, I don't know.
Gummy Bears, Smurfs.
Yeah, I love the Smurfs. And I watched this even younger. It's been around forever. So I remember being a kid watching the Smurfs, and I was a pretty good boy. Like, I was a good boy. And I remember being so heartbroken because you remember the intro? It used to say, "And if you're good enough, you too might see a Smurf." And so
Mm-hmm.
I used to be so good, and I never saw a Smurf. So I thought for sure that I wasn't being good enough to catch a Smurf in real life.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, poor little
I
Ryan.
know.
Well, basically, these cartoons are all just commercials to get us to
Yes.
beg our parents to buy
So I
shit.
killed it.
You don't have any sisters, so I was
No.
going to ask. So also during this time was Punky Brewster.
I like Punky Brewster. I think
Loved
yeah.
Punky Brewster.
Yeah. Yeah, she
Um,
grew up to be quite a good-looking woman.
Yeah, she did.
She's my age. I think, give or take, she's my age. She's 40
Soleil
something.
Moon Frye.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a smoke show, even today. Yeah.
Still.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
for her. Good for her.
She looks great. Yeah.
Oh, and Alvin and the Chipmunks. So that was
Yeah.
the lineup for the Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, okay.
And now I remember, again, I'm like, why am I not seeing certain, like Captain Caveman, I remember watching
Yes.
around this
He
time.
used to fly around with his club. He'd fly with his club, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Captain Caveman. But that was from, again, like, I don't know, because we're a few years apart. Do you
Bananarama?
remember?
Oh, sorry.
That was the group, right?
Yeah, was it Banana? Oh, sorry. There was a cartoon called Bananas or something, or they're like life-size stuffies, and they scared the crap out of me. Oh, what were they called?
No, Bananarama was a music group,
That's
I
right.
think.
That's right. Yeah.
But I had to look it up because, yeah, so there were the after school cartoons, the Saturday morning. But apparently there was Sunday morning on was it TBS or USA? USA on Sundays, which predated Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. And that's what Captain Caveman and tons of other Hanna-Barbera shows. It was called the Cartoon Express. Does this ring a bell to you?
We didn't have the USA Network in Canada. I don't recognize that lineup, so to speak, or that.
Yeah.
You call that. No.
Well, the Cartoon Express, and if anybody remembers this, please let me know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Let's see. So what cereal, like sitting on the living room floor watching cartoons on Saturday morning? Were you a cereal kid?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I dreamt of cereal. We never bought it. Again, I have 3 brothers. My parents couldn't afford it. Meaning, if they bought 1 box of cereal, I would eat a whole box in one sitting. So we'd get like a box of cereal.
Not when you're
Christmas.
little.
Oh, man.
Right?
You have no idea. You have the voracious appetite of 4 boys. We destroyed the house with food. Anything with sugar was gone. So for us, cereal was porridge. That was it. And we could add our own brown sugar to it or honey. But we never bought box cereal. If we bought box cereal, it was always like Weetabix.
Not like
Frosted Wheat.
honeycomb or Frosted Flakes or Lucky Charms. None
Gone
of
in
those.
a heartbeat.
Okay.
Gone, done.
Okay.
So anyways, I had it throughout my life, but either at a friend's house but it was never bought for the boys. It'd be gone on one Saturday or one morning. Yeah. It's expensive, right?
It always was, and I never understood it. I'd be at the grocery store with my mom. And she'd be like, you can pick out the ones that are on sale. And I'm like, why does it have to be on sale? Now I'm like, yeah.
As a parent, I get it. But yeah, I loved I loved the Lucky Charms commercials, Sugar Smacks.
Mm-hmm. Sugar Smacks.
Yeah, the frog jumping around. Fruity Pebbles, Count Dracula, Boo Berry. Tricks are for kids, of course.
Speaking my language, I actually have like 4 of those right now in my house. Yeah.
You see, that's funny.
That's what dinner is going to be.
It's so weird now.
For
we
me.
buy cereal for our kids, it sits there and goes bad. My kids don't eat it. They don't care. To them, it's a nothing. It's a nothing sauce. They don't really care.
I still like kid cereal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could eat kid cereal, but I don't anymore because my diet. I don't eat sugar anymore. So
yeah, that's right. Oh man, I'm totally gonna have a bowl of kid cereal for dinner.
All right.
No, that's interesting. Kids also don't know that you have to wait for cartoon on certain days.
There's something special about that. I mean, kids don't understand. They stream Netflix, Disney Plus. It's great. They get to watch whatever they want when they want. I'm sure if I was a kid, I would love to too. It would blow my mind having this tablet. Like you mentioned, handing 11-year-old self a tablet, and you'd be like, "Hey, go watch whatever you want to watch whenever you want." You wouldn't leave your room, But I think what I liked about TV, I think that's what it kind of forced you to do. It was a time allotted. It's like the whole North America knew, the broadcast systems knew, like, hey kids, you wake up early on a Saturday morning, you've got till 10 o'clock to watch the decent cartoons. Anything after 10 was garbage cartoons. They weren't worth watching. There's always the garbage cartoons. I want to go play now. I want to play with my toys, go ride my bike, go to my friend's house. It was done. You're like, cartoons are over. Let's go play. And so it was that special moment, Saturday mornings cartoons. Everyone gathered around and watched it. And the odd time you'd have one cartoon on a different channel that you wanted to watch as well at the same time. Because I didn't have a VCR until I was 14, so I couldn't record anything. So you're like, what do I watch? So I'd watch the one that I really wanted to watch. If I've already seen it, then I'd go to the other channel at that same time. And these are the things that you got to enjoy as a kid that you just kids. I don't know if it's good or bad, but there's something special
Yeah.
about waiting for that finite moment where you could have this fix, and then you went about your day. Though it was over, it was over.
And it's like a shared experience too, because we lived in different countries.
Yeah.
We are different genders.
Yeah.
A few years apart, and yet like an experience that we
Special.
both look back
Yeah.
on fondly. Yeah, for sure.
And when you have sleepover, same with, a sleepover at my buddy's house, it was Saturday morning cartoons. It didn't matter. Like it was a given. If I slept over at my friend's house or him at my house, we knew Saturday mornings, get up, we got cartoons to watch. No questions.
Yep. Yeah. Good times. Oh, so let's move on because I could literally talk about
I know.
Saturday morning
It's like
cartoons.
this podcast is
Yeah.
about retro memories. It's weird, right? That we talk about.
Yeah,
things
it
that
is
are-
kind of weird. So again, July 1986,
Oh.
in the music world,
Oh,
the Farm Aid 2 concert happened
yes.
during this time,
Yes.
which I don't really remember,
I
but
do.
the top performers were Willie Nelson, Neil Young, John Mellencamp, Bob Dylan, Steppenwolf,
So weird.
Emmylou Harris, Foreigner. It drew a crowd of more than 35,000 people and raised over $2 million for
That's
family
it?
farmers in the U.S. I mean, it was the second one. Maybe Farm Aid 1 was bigger. And
Sure.
$2 million in 1986 is probably like
You're
I
right.
don't know,
It's like
$10 million
today.
now.
Sure. Fair enough.
for family farmers in the U.S. So
Cool.
that happened. And then do you have any guesses for top 5 Billboard singles?
Oh,
Music
singles? Oh no.
Like
I'd
the
have to-
song.
Not.
So maybe these will make more sense to you. For me, it's a little disappointing in that only one of them I really remember. So the number 1 song was There'll Be Sad Songs to Make You Cry by Billy Ocean.
No.
Again, this is the actual week the movie was released,
Sure,
like the
fair
first
enough.
week in July.
I remember Billy Ocean. Out of
Yeah.
my dreams.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Then Holding Back the Years by Simply Red,
I'd have to hear it, but I know simple couple of stuff. But I'd have to hear that one.
because I wasn't familiar. I was like, what is this?
I
Who? The Short Circuit theme, Who's Johnny by El DeBarge.
Oh, wow. That's a stupid movie too, by the way. Sorry.
I actually haven't seen it. I've
It's
not
basically
seen
it's
Short
basically
Circuit.
it's a robot version of ET. Not an alien, it's just a robot. I don't remember. Look, I could be misremembering, but I saw it when I was 11, 12, so I'm in that perfect age group. And even as a kid, I was like, this is garbage. That's what I remember. I remember not liking it.
Okay, well, I'm going to skip it then.
Well, no, I mean, there might be somebody might be a guest. I would challenge any future guest to prove me wrong.
Okay.
Why it's a great movie. Let me know why I'm wrong.
Okay. Number 4, No One Is to Blame by Howard Jones. I've never even heard of Howard Jones.
No, I've never heard Howard Jones. Wow, okay.
So
What a bad week.
mostly unfamiliar. When I looked them up, I'd at least heard the song before, but they're all very much easy listening. That's what was topping the charts in the first week of July, 1986. Now, only this 5th one is one I'm like, all right, now we're talking.
Okay.
Nasty by Janet Jackson,
Wow, it was 86. Okay. Wow.
which actually 86 was a huge year for her. It was kind of her breakthrough record, apparently, which featured 5 singles that topped the rhythm and blues
Wow.
charts. And then it just kind of portrayed like her fierce independence and how like that struck a chord with, I don't know, the youth of the day. And she rose to a level of stardom during this time
Okay.
that rivaled her brother, Michael.
Good.
So this is when Janet's kind of becoming a thing, apparently.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was never obviously. I just wasn't my wheelhouse of music, but I always knew who she was. She was always in the popular culture, right?
Again, just because of my age, I remember more early 90s stuff from her
Rhythm
and Paul
Nation.
Abdul. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of forgot all about these people, but in the news during this time, Prince Andrew married Sarah Ferguson, aka Fergie. Do you remember
Wow.
them being like a
Yes.
royal couple that
Yeah,
were
they
followed?
were like they were like the young Meghan Markle
And Harry.
Harry, yeah, of course. They
Mhm.
were the gossip column. Yeah, Prince Andrew, he turned out okay, right? Good for him. Okay.
Okay, so before we jump into the movie, I just want to get your take, your feel, impressions for Kurt,
Oh,
Patrick, because so this is the 2 everymen.
okay,
This season of Retromade is Kurt Russell and Patrick Swayze,
okay.
1986, etc. So I did a little bit. I had come up with some nicknames for them being like little doppelgangers
Okay.
because I clearly, and the internet, I think, thinks they look alike. Do you think that there's a resemblance between
Not at all.
Kurt and Patrick?
Not
Not
all.
at all?
Other than the coify hair, I can see the coify hair maybe. No, and this is
They're
speaking
like
as a
facial
man
bone
and speaking as someone
structure.
who was raised with these two, right, throughout my youth. Well, no, I don't think they look alike at all. I just don't.
Oh God. I have a side-by-side thumbnail as my
Okay.
season 1 trailer on YouTube, and they look very much alike in my
I
opinion.
guess. I guess
like the
it's not
hair,
like
their face shape, their bone structure,
well,
all
sure.
the things.
I guess as far as the square jawline, coify hair, masculine features, I guess, but I just never. I don't. I see it, but I don't. Like I hear what you're saying. I guess there's an argument that could be made for it, but I don't feel it.
Mhm.
How does that sound?
All right.
I'm
Well,
not feeling
listeners,
it.
please let me know. Please let me know. Now, I don't think that they act like they're very different, but I think they resemble each other in terms of looks. And they're similar in age, I think. So you clearly don't think they look alike, but I know that you're a big fan of Tombstone,
Oh.
right?
If it's not in my top 3, I don't know where it is. It's in the discussion for the top 3. I mean, we all know what my first favorite film
Yep.
was, so it's got to be there. I saw it 7 times in the theaters alone.
You did not.
I did. I loved it so much that every time I saw it, like the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time, I took a friend that hadn't seen it and I paid for their ticket.
Okay. So one of your ultimate favorite movies is
I-
Tombstone.
Absolutely,
Okay.
freaking I love Westerns. Huge Western fan. If anyone's enjoying this episode with me, I am going to start a Western podcast. It's coming out in the near future. So I'm a huge Western fan. So I will be nerding out about Tombstone. Even though Tombstone won't be the first episode, it'll be Young Guns, and then Young Guns 2 will be. I'm doing that.
Oh, you've even got your lineup set up.
Oh yeah. But because I love Young Guns 1 and 2 so much, it's funny. I think Tombstone.
I really liked those too.
Oh, they're so much fun. Don't get me nerding. I'm sorry.
But the thing that I like about those, I think, is different than the thing that you like about them.
Oh, these handsome men.
Yeah. mhm,
Okay, fair
yep.
enough. Fair enough. See, I called it. That's fine. Look, I called it.
You know me, don't you, Ryan?
Yeah,
like
we had
I'm
Charlie
a sucker
Sheen
for
and
a.
Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, they were good-looking guys. They're still good-looking men, really, for their age.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I freaking love those films. Anyway, so Patrick
Is that your
Swayze's-
favorite Kurt movie? Is Tombstone your favorite Kurt
Oh,
movie?
easily. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. What about Patrick Swayze? Do you have a favorite of his?
Okay,
Or what are your
Patrick-
thoughts about him?
Okay, thoughts about him are they stem from indifferent to no. Let's go back in time. So when he was quote unquote big at the time, you have to keep in mind his first big movie that I was aware of was Dirty Dancing. Okay, so I'm 12 years old when Dirty Dancing comes out, and I actually no backtrack. Red Dawn. Of course, I saw Red Dawn first. So when I saw Red Dawn in '84, I was about 9 or 10 when I saw this film. I didn't know who Patrick Swayze was from anyone else. He was just one of the many cast of characters
Mhm.
from that film. So I didn't think anything of as much as I just thought the film was a great film. A lot of fun to watch and, very brutal for that age and stage of my life. But then Dirty Dancing was huge. It was a mega hit, right? And so what do you think a 12-year-old guy is going to be like? Look at this guy prancing around. Like, it's just, you see,
But he
I'm
was
serious.
like a big, he wasn't like
No.
a feminine guy. He was
Yes, he
like a
was.
strong.
No, not to a
like-
12-year-old boy. Like I'm being look through the lens of a 12-year-old
okay.
boy in '86. No, none of my 12-year-old friends, guy friends, were like, "Hey man, did you see Dirty Dancing?" No, it's ridiculous. No, no, not a
What
12-year-old
about-
boy.
Like The Outsiders was probably before then.
I would say put it this way, I saw The Outsiders after I knew the existence of Dirty Dancing, if that makes sense. So I knew Patrick Swayze as a huge icon because of Dirty Dancing, and I probably rewatched Red Dawn after Dirty Dancing as well, and as well as The
Mhm.
Outsiders, because The Outsiders is one of my favorite books of all time. So I saw that movie as well. I
Yeah,
loved
Roadhouse. It's so good.
it. I think Roadhouse to me was like, look at this guy who can dance trying to be a fighter.
Now it's interesting to hear you say that. Almost kind of hurts a little bit because
That when this is 12, I felt back then.
yes. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Yes. So again, I'm 14. So as a 14-year-old boy, I'm just scathing, right? You're not Stallone, you're not Schwarzenegger. That's the guys I was watching, right? These men. This skinny guy kicking people as a bouncer. I was like, come on. You got
He
the
wasn't
Terminator.
skinny.
Well,
he
compared
wasn't
to like
skinny.
the Terminator and I'm
yes,
just saying,
and
like,
that's why. Yes, good
Yeah.
good point. But that's why this season is in a time of
Yes.
these like super muscled up like super freaks, sort of. There were these everymen like Kurt and Patrick, and so that's kind of why I combine them.
I'm more mature. And as I got older, my wife's laughing at me.
She's still waiting for you to mature.
She's
I
still
think
waiting for me to
probably.
mature, probably.
I
She
heard
called
her
me-
laughing.
She says she called me a 12-year-old boy yesterday. It's true. So,
Yes, men seemingly don't ever fully grow up.
we do
right?
mature a little bit. I will say this. So as I got older, I got to know who Patrick Swayze was as a person, as an individual. I guess he's a good guy, and I like him. So I started seeing movies later in his life that were dramas and stuff, and I enjoyed those more. And then now, of course, I watch Roadhouse. Now I watch it as what it is, but you can watch and laugh with it and enjoy it as the film that it is. That I let myself go, so to speak. But when it came out at the time, no, I thought he was a fake, so to speak, compared to what I thought was the Muscle Man at the time. Because I was watching the wrestling and things like, you know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, what's
roided up
ironic is
guys.
they were the fakes and he was
I
the
know,
real
I
man.
know.
I'm saying that, and I hope you listen to some of the Patrick episodes because I'll
Never.
talk more about
This
this.
is the only
but
episode I'm going to listen to is this.
his book that he wrote, like shortly before he passed with his wife, I cannot it's literally one of the best books
Oh.
I've read in the last 10 years. It's
I would love to read it.
amazing.
I'll read it. I'll do that for you.
Thank you. But so in that, you'll see why it kind of hurts a little bit because he was very careful about choosing his roles because he did not want to be thought of as just the dance guy or whatnot.
I feel bad. No, well, there you go. There's a reason why he had that fear because it happened. So not his fault. It's mine.
No, but he did choose, he talks about it in his book, but he
Okay.
did try and choose varied roles, but he actually by trade is a dancer.
It's great.
But also he was an athlete. Read his book. Everyone read his
ma'am.
book. It's so good. I know this episode's about Kurt, but I just have to go on about Patrick for a while
Well, please.
because there is literally nothing that he couldn't do. He tried almost like anything imaginable and succeeded at it. So his life is a story about kind of perseverance, and he does seem like a stand-up guy. Now, getting back to Kurt before we get into the movie,
Okay.
do you remember when you first do you really like Kurt as an actor? Is he up there in your pantheon, or is
Yes.
he you just enjoy his films?
So that's a good. When did I start? I'm looking at his. I think what probably happened as I look, because he's been acting forever.
He was a
Disney
child
kid,
star.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
Wasn't he like
yeah.
a Disney film kid? So
He
he was doing films obviously before I was born, and a lot of different. But I think I didn't get onto, or he didn't come onto my radar. Probably, I know this is going to sound very, of course, but until he did the movie Tango and Cash with Sly. So
That was even after Big Trouble.
yes, well, we'll get to that. So Tango and Cash, of course, Sly. I saw that in the theaters. I was 14 when that came out, and I was like, okay. Of course, I've heard of Kurt Russell. I was a big movie guy. I was a big movie guy at a very young age. I got all the movie magazines. I was a movie nerd. So I was very aware of things I didn't even watch. I just know, actors, directors, things like that. So I was very aware of Kurt Russell. Maybe I'd seen Escape from New York by then. Maybe. I definitely hadn't seen The Thing. So really nothing before that. I knew he was an Overboard with Goldie Hawn, but I wouldn't watch that because it's a silly comic.
Oh,
I'm
it's
not
so
gonna
good.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah, but you at the time, yeah.
Then of course he did Tequila Sunrise with Mel, but again, it didn't come on my radar because it wasn't quote unquote an action film. I was 13 when that came out, so it's kind of it didn't. But Tango Cash is a classic, right? Action movie. I saw it, and like, oh, I like this guy. And then it was after that film I saw everything: Backdraft, Unlawful Entry, Captain Wrong. Then Tombstone comes out. So I admit, when Tombstone comes out in '93, so you think about that. For me as a 14-year-old to see Tango and Cash, then I'm 16 when Backdraft comes out. Love that film. I cried in it. I freaking cried. Spoiler alert, when his character died. Unlawful Entry with him and Ray Liotta. Freaking love that. Captain Ron, I saw in the theaters. I saw Captain Ron. See, now I'm becoming you know you're a Kurt Russell fan when you watch Captain Ron in the theaters. Okay,
This is true.
Okay, think about it. I saw this. I paid money, bought popcorn, and I had a great time. That's
great.
And then Tombstone. Then after Tombstone, I'm like, I'm done. This guy, I love him so much. Everything he has been in since then, everything.
Wow. That's so maybe you'll know some of this. So there's some trivia. I'm curious.
Okay.
So obviously you knew he was a child star. In 1966, apparently the last thing that Walt Disney wrote was the name Kurt Russell on a piece of paper.
Wow.
Were you aware of that?
Was that somebody on his menu or?
I don't know if he couldn't speak. I'm unfamiliar with the history. I'm not sure what the deal was, but yeah, he was a big Disney child actor.
did not know
I found
that.
that surprising. Were you aware of what his potentially alternate career could have been?
Stuntman?
Baseball player.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I guess his dad was a baseball player, and then Kurt was on some minor league, like affiliate teams and like double A division baseball teams, but then he ended up getting a rotator cuff injury. And so that pushed him much more towards acting. But yeah, he was a
Okay.
legit, like, pretty good baseball player.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, good.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't know his dad was a baseball player either. He owns multiple homes,
Sure.
he and Goldie. Everyone knows that they've never been married, but that's like one of my favorite things about them.
They have the best
yeah.
relationships in Hollywood. I don't think there's any scandals with those two. I love it.
They own homes in multiple places,
Sure.
but they own a home in each of our backyards. So in the mountains here, they have a Snowmass Village home in Colorado.
Okay.
And then in British Columbia, they have a home as well.
Oh, what part do you know?
Vancouver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right next
Yeah.
door to where I live in Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. When I read that, I thought, oh, that's perfect for Ryan and I.
Go visit them.
Yes, let's. Because their son, I think, played hockey, and maybe that's why they bought a house there back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah. And like Patrick, our other everyman that we were talking about, Kurt is a pilot.
Oh.
Patrick was too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Are you ready to get into the movie?
I know when I do my movies, like the Rocky and Rambo's movies, I watch the films, but it's just more like, of course, you and I do the Rocky films. It's like we watch the scene, we just talk about it. What did it mean to us, or how did we feel about something, about how it made us feel, or what scene was good, or what dialogue could have been better, So now,
we go off on a lot of tangents.
We
too.
do. I think we do and we don't. I think we're pretty good, but yes, of course we do. Yeah. Now, when's the first time you saw this film? If you don't mind me asking you, Big Trouble in Little China.
Well, so I was not even 5 yet, I don't think, when this movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably did not see it until years later when it was on TV. I don't recall my first viewing. I just remember it being part of our rotation, taped from TV VHS copy.
Right.
And it just, or whenever it would come on TV, as we'll get into, it's super unique and it's friggin' awesome. Do you remember your first viewing of it?
Well, put a gun to my head. No. I feel like I saw it for the first time 24 hours ago.
Because it had been so long, do you mean?
Yeah, if I ever saw it, it's one of those things where I know, again, I was at that perfect age when this came out. It was on VHS, of course. I don't think my family ever rented it, so maybe it was on TV here and there. But when I watched it the other day, I wasn't wholly, like, the white tank top. I knew what he was going to wear. And there's a couple scenes that would happen where I'm like, oh, yeah, but I don't know if it's just because I've seen stills or thumbnails or.
Oh, this was a regular movie in our household.
I would say my first time seeing it and really watching it, other than maybe 30 odd years ago, it was 2 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know,
well,
and I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan. So isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And I'm a huge John Carpenter fan. So people are going to be listening to this like, Ryan, you're fake. You're fake. You're phony. Your podcast is a fake. Go kill yourself. But
that's a reference to Rocky 2.
Yeah, I know. Before people think I'm being too dark. But I feel like it's, like I said, the first film I truly watched and enjoyed, especially on the big screen, was A Tango and Cash with Kurt. And I'm like, I like this guy. I like the cut of his jib, right? And then I saw everything else after that. And I don't know if I really went back too much. I saw The Thing, of course, when I went back in time. But even as I look at his escape from New York, of course. But other than that, there's still some movies from before Tango and Cash that I haven't seen. Like, I don't think haven't seen Tequila Sunrise and Overboard, which I should just really watch because I love Mel Gibson. So it's funny.
Overboard is another one of his. Probably Overboard and Big Trouble in Little China are probably the two Kurt movies I've seen the most.
Wow.
And they're fun. They're just easy. They're just super fun in different ways.
So my memory of this was completely false. Of course, the character Jack Burton, from the movie poster, of course, to how he was in the movie, to what the movie is about and how it. But I'm watching this movie, and yes, I'm like, I don't remember any of this. I didn't realize he was such a clown, a bumbling, I would say idiot. It's not the right word, but I liked it. That was what a brave choice, you could say, to have the Kurt Russell character, because if you look at the movie poster, he's the hero. He's the Harrison Ford of Indiana Jones fame type hero who's going to fix everything in this 80s film. But it's actually his partner,
Wang
Chi.
Wang.
He's the real fighter. He's the guy that can fight. But I thought it was kind of a brave choice that Kurt Russell, minus the very, of course he kills the main bad guy at the end, of course. But other than that, he, knocks himself out. He gets into trouble. He gets lost. He's always bumbling around. It's like by the skin of his teeth, he happens to get through these things. He's almost like Leslie Nielsen's character from the Naked Gun series.
Oh my God. Well, so for anybody who hasn't seen Big Trouble in Little China in like decades, the description is a rough and tumble trucker, as Ryan was talking about. He's kind of a bumbling, but a rough and tumble trucker and his sidekick face off with an ancient sorcerer in a supernatural battle beneath San Francisco's Chinatown. An ancient Chinese prince and Chinatown crime lord has kidnapped a beautiful green-eyed woman who is the fiance to Jack's best friend. Jack must help his friend rescue the girl before the evil Lo Pan uses her to break the ancient curse that keeps him in a fleshless and immortal spirit. Featuring an ancient Chinese prince, a crime lord, and a kidnapped woman, Jack must use his brawn and brains to stop the evil Lo Pan from breaking an ancient curse. This was a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, so was this film okay, here's the thing. Was this film, who's it geared towards?
Well, so that's an interesting point. So you had mentioned John Carpenter, the director who had 5 projects with Kurt. So they are kind of one of those, it's like
right.
Scorsese and De Niro kind of things.
And let's say he is, of course, the famous writer, creator of the Halloween movie, which is by far my favorite Halloween movie.
He's got a lot of horror movies.
So is this John Carpenter trying to make a family film?
Well,
it'd be like Quentin Tarantino trying to make a family film. If that makes sense, because
I don't know if it's super family friendly.
No, it's not. But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But what was his intent? Did he hope for because you're not in '86. Are parents bringing their kids to this film?
I definitely saw it when I was 6. But now watching it as an adult, I'm like, wow, but it just was the way it was then. There were a lot of things that I saw. I don't know. Now, where I was going with that was that it was a box office flop. It grossed $11 million on a $25 million budget. They did not market this well because they didn't know how to market it.
Yeah.
It's even hard to explain, and the description doesn't make it sound good, but it's such a
all
fun
over the place
movie.
I know
Yeah.
but that's the whole point. I'm 47 years old. If people could figure this out by all the math we've been doing with the ages I've been. So I'm 47 right now. I watched this film just for the first time. I've watched a lot. I've watched a lot of high-end intelligent films and TV shows. They make a lot of these today, right? We're talking very well-written, clever, intricate plots, character details. I'm watching this movie and I had to pause it a couple times and go to the Wikipedia page to look at the plot outline. I don't know what the F is going on.
Because your viewing experience is so different than mine. I don't really care. The plot is so, it almost doesn't matter.
Well, I wouldn't mention it.
Yeah.
I went in cold thinking he's going to fight Asians. I don't know. Once I saw lightning and the Mortal Kombat characters come, and I was like,
the 3 storms.
Sure.
It's weird because I have such vivid, fond memories of this movie, and there's just so much to see. It catches your attention. There's so many characters in it. But again, for me, it's nostalgic because I remember watching it so much as a kid and rewatching it yesterday. I'm like, oh, yeah, the plot is it sort of doesn't make sense.
So it's not just the plot doesn't, I guess it makes sense in the sense of it's going from one plot point to the next, and they're trying to establish and explain this magical ancient world that's been existing forever. And Jack's caught up. See, I was watching it as Jack is caught up into this world as a first-time viewer himself. Everyone around him is aware of the legends, the myths, the stories, right? Okay, fine. It's like everyone knows the lore, the ancient Chinese lore under San Francisco, except for Jack. He's kind of inadvertently dumped into this, but I just love how quickly he seems to embrace. Well, I guess I guess there's just magic and there's all this crazy stuff, and he just finds himself in this adventure. And I'm not supposed to say this is unbelievable. I'm not saying that, but there's a part of me where I was like, they start the movie in a realistic kind of way. He's a trucker. He's going to drop off some goods. He's playing cards with his friend Wang, and his friend doesn't have the money to pay up for the lost bet. So he's like, well, let's just go to your house and get it. And then it goes like, well, we have to go to the airport and pick somebody up, and I'm in love with this girl. And then the kidnap goes awry, and somebody else is taken. And then him and Kim Cattrall's character act like they've known each other forever, but they just met and they fall in love, but they hate each other at the same time. It's like, what is going? I was all, it's like, I just felt like, to me, it was like Jack's actions and everything around me wasn't making sense. The fact that he was so accepting of this world, he would have mentioned a couple times, I don't know what's going on around here, but I'm going to go fight these ancients with you type thing. It was a combination of he's wholly unaware of what's going on. At the same time, he completely buys in at the same time.
Yes. He refers to himself in the third person a lot, and his kind of one of his catchphrases, he says, oh, you know what Jack Burton always says, what the hell?
Jack always says.
Or, you know, so he's just kind of,
yeah, it's almost like we're supposed to, yeah, I feel like we're watching the adventures of Jack Burton. This is another,
well, we are.
But there hasn't been another film before or after. I feel like this could have been the fourth film of a Jack Burton action series. Like he's like a bumbling James Bond, Indiana Jones character. And so the Jack Burton film, it could have been Jack Burton in Big Trouble in Little China, Jack Burton in, you know, Frankenstein meets The Mummy. Like that's where these films I thought could have gone had they been successful, that we would see Jack Burton in these ridiculous situations, and he finds like Naked Gun, like that Leslie Nielsen character. He's almost like, he's not the butt of the jokes, but he happens just to be like, this whole thing took place, and he had, other than killing the main bad guy at the end, he did nothing for it. Like he was like a stick in the river, just going down, and he just bounced around. All the events did not change because of him being there, which is fun. I'm not criticizing it. I just wasn't expecting this.
I mean, he has guns and knives, and I mean, he's part of it. There are a lot of characters that kind of get introduced, and we are introduced along with Jack to this ancient Chinese lore and all the mysticism and sorcery. And it's super fun. Don't you remember in the 80s, shit just didn't make sense? And it didn't matter. You just,
I know.
Shit, like,
you have to, I know, but I watched this in 2023 where maybe I'd forgotten. I know. Look, as far as retro, we talk about the retro. This is a Retro Made podcast. I know 10-year-old Ryan probably would have loved this film more than maybe. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I missed it or why I didn't catch on to it. I get it. And so I allowed myself to watch it with the young viewers. I was not being critical of it, but there's still a small part of me that it wasn't about being critical. I was just, I was confused for Jack. And I think that threw I think that threw me off. I was like, why am I the only one who's not like bewildered by this whole experience? I think if they had just made it a little bit more of what is going on around, like make it more he's trapped in this situation, but the fact that he just wholly buys into saving the world with these, I'm like, well, he didn't owe this to anybody, but he just found himself owing and being brave and all this. Like he became the hero, and I wasn't sure what his motives were. And that was to find his truck. That's kind of the joke, to find his truck at the very end.
And the police have better things to do, or he's just really up for going in to like a life-threatening situation. Yes. But I think it's just like imagery overload, but in a fun way. And to answer your question about John Carpenter, this seems like a departure for him. He must be a big Jackie Chan fan, because that's who he wanted to play Wang Chi. My favorite thing about this, well, no, not my favorite thing. There's so many. One of my first thoughts when I rewatched this yesterday was, wow, the 80s really have us thinking that truckers are super hot, because we have Jack Burton.
Over the Top, yeah.
And Ryan's favorite movie, Over the Top.
Yeah, I'd rather watch this easily than Over the Top.
I mean, please, somebody tell us that Ryan is wrong and Over the Top is a super awesome.
I don't know why people like it.
Movie.
I think okay. Anyway, so
it's horrible. It's horrible, but I love it. It's nostalgic. Yeah. So please comment. Tell Ryan and I what your thoughts are on truckers being hot in the 80s.
Sure. Not anymore.
I mean, I don't know if they were then, but again, movies have us thinking a certain way. Now, you might find this interesting that apparently the script was originally a Western.
Yes, I did read that. And I thought it was kind of Westerns. But watching this, I don't know how that would have necessarily worked.
It was trying to recover his stolen horse instead of his truck.
Sure. And that's why it's almost irrelevant, because everything that happens with the fights and the Chinese lore and legends and myths it could be on a space station, because it doesn't matter, because the things they do to fight and the creatures, it's outside of a Western or outside of the city. It doesn't matter. The backdrop wouldn't matter. Yeah.
I like that it's underneath San Francisco's Chinatown. The city is, in this case, is a little bit part of the movie to some degree, but I think there was a big martial arts was becoming really popular at this time, and so that's why they switched it.
Sure. The guy that played Wang Chi, he was fine. He was great. Don't get me wrong, but it would have been very interesting seeing Jackie Chan in this role.
Speaking of other people in this, so Kim Cattrall, who everybody will know, plays Gracie. Dennis Dunn plays Wang Chi. James Hong, who everyone knows James Hong. He's like in every movie, but this to me is his iconic movie. He's David Lopan, and it's iconic. Again, it's so interesting to hear that you didn't watch this like 1,000.
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't. The wheelchair sequences were hilarious. When he's in the wheelchair, that was comedy gold. I don't know. I thought like
it was funny, but it's scary. Like the makeup department, he's like a 2,000-year-old person in a wheelchair. He was scary. That shit was scary.
So less people think I didn't like the film. I should say I did. I had a blast watching it. I really did. I always come from an angle of, it's just easy to say that I loved it and had a good time, but I like to come at the angle of like where I had a hard time with it. Doesn't mean I didn't have fun, but I had a hard time just accepting, because I'm a very kind of literal guy. That's why I cry in movies sometimes, is because I'm always putting myself in the character's position. So when a character loses a loved one or a child, and I get choked up because I'm putting myself with that character, like, oh, I couldn't imagine. That's like, get choked up. So when I'm putting myself with Jack Burton, like if I'm in this situation, I don't get why he's acting this way. So I get a little confused. But anyways, I will say one of the lines I should have wrote down, that, you know how in movies they always say, this curse is 2,000 years old, or things haven't been this way for 1,000 years. They did a time thing, and I loved it. It's been this way for 2,368 days or something like that. I love how they give the exact year, whatever it was. They were talking about something that happened like 2,368 years ago. You never see that in films. So give total credit to the writers of this film, giving an actual date down to the year instead of rounding it up or down. I thought that was just good. I like that. I don't know why
I didn't even catch that. Actually, the writer, who was the writer? The writer was,
one of them was
Gary Goldman and W.D. Richter.
Yeah. So Gary Goldman. Well,
Total Recall, right?
Okay. Total Recall, Navy SEALs, right?
And then W.D. Richter was Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and then David Z. Weinstein
did a few as well that we know about. His last film, of all the films, he solely wrote the film Stealth. The 2000 movie
I've not even heard of it. I don't even know what that is.
It's a military science fiction film directed by Rob Cohen. It's written by W.D. Richter. It has Jessica Biel, Josh Lucas, Jamie Foxx, Sam Shepard. And it's about the film follows 3 top fighter pilots as they join a project to develop an automated robotic stealth aircraft.
I didn't catch that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of the other casting, what ifs were, so John Carpenter, because he and Kurt have a thing, his only choice for Jack Burton was Kurt Russell, but the studio wanted like someone with a bigger name. They wanted Clint Eastwood or Jack Nicholson, which I can't really picture.
No, I mean, they would have been
Kurt brings
older, but not.
It's more comedic.
He has charisma. His comedy, he's always yelling. He's always yelling when he talks. You notice every line was like, Kurt does it though. He kind of yell talks in his films.
Does he?
He just has he has a very strong projected voice. He always does it kind of like.
Oh yeah. That's,
it's always that.
I know what you mean.
It's hard
now.
to explain, but he just has that.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, and he always has, one of the things I noticed watching this is that his hair is always perfectly styled. That hair.
To this day, as a 72-year-old man, he still has that hair. I love it.
He does have good hair, but he just gets done swimming in a sewer pipe.
Yeah.
And like 2 minutes later, his hair's perfectly
Yeah.
styled.
It's
But obviously, Jack Nicholson and Clint Eastwood did not sign on to do this movie.
No.
But apparently, Russell based his performance on John Wayne.
okay, fair. I see that, I guess.
And similarly, his performance of Snake Plissken on Clint Eastwood. So that was kind of an interesting little
Okay.
crossover.
He was 35, by the way, in this film.
Okay.
Yeah. I love
Did
getting their
you
ages.
were you surprised by that? Were you
Yes and
surprised by
no,
that?
but I guess I knew, this was 30 odd years ago, so he had to be, this is almost 40 years ago, so that makes sense. Yeah, he's 35 because he's 72 now. And yeah, it's weird to see, seeing him this young. It's 10 years younger than I am now, 12 years younger than I am now. That's just weird to me because even when you watch it, it's hard for me to see him being younger than me now in this film.
Oh, that's like a time warp. I don't really want to get like
To that
yeah.
age. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you know the first time I knew I was older? Just not old, but older. Because I don't think I'm old, but just when I'm aging, like age is happening, is when my dentist was younger than me.
Mm.
That was my first big, oh boy. My dentist who's fixing my teeth is younger than I am. That was a big moment for me.
Yes, and we aren't getting we're vintage is what I like to call it now. I'm not old,
Sure.
I'm vintage.
No, like I said, if you're older than your dentist, you're not young
Yes.
anymore. You're not young
Yeah.
anymore. If you're older than you're not young anymore.
When I still get asked for my ID because they ask everyone for the
Sure.
ID and then they look so quickly and they're like, well, I see the 19. If you were born in the 19s,
19
not
whatever.
tw-
You're
19
already,
anything.
You're already
Yeah.
over 23, right?
Mhm.
Fair enough.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Good point. Yeah. All right.
So what did you think about the green-eyed business?
I did some math. So in 1986, if I remember correctly, there's about 3 billion people, give or take. So I did how many people what's the percentage of people that have green eyes in the world? It's 2%. And 2% of 3 billion is 60 million people. So they had a lot to choose from. Why was this? They had 60 million people they could. Then even if you give it that in half, they have to be female, fine. And then you have to say 18 and over, so at least they're adults. So, they're at least sacrificing an adult person, not a child. You're still looking at about 15 million girls they could have chosen. But they made it seem like green eyes was like 1 in a billion.
I know. They're like, haven't you been able to find anyone over the they even said something as much like,
Yeah,
it's been 2,000 years, you haven't, and something always goes wrong with the wedding or marriage or whatever. But also if he's looking in Chinatown.
Yeah, sure. They say it had to be an Asian with green eyes, but they didn't say that. Did they say it had to be a Chinese?
Didn't.
Yeah.
No, because they Lopan ends up with both Wang's fiance, who has like just arrived from China, and then Gracie, Kim Cattrall's.
Right.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, neither of them actually have green eyes in real life. They were context for the movie, but I do have green eyes. And so I always thought that was really interesting and that they made such a big deal about it. And also my friend group is disproportionately green-eyed. It's 2% of the world, but 9% of America, which is still really small. And so we're like, wow, it's really odd that so many of us have green eyes. But watching this as a kid, apparently to just like make the spell go away by your sacrifice, it has to be a green-eyed person.
Yeah, so I went to Reddit really quickly. Reddit's great for this. So somebody asked the very same question, like why did Lopan not look outside of the Chinese race for green-eyed women? And so I like this answer here. They said Lopan is old school, which involves a touch of racism.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
Like he's 2,300 years ago racist. It had honestly never occurred to him to consider anyone besides a Chinese woman until Gracie fell into his lap.
Mm-hmm.
So
they when they're in the brothel, so there's a scene where this is also like, I didn't catch this at all, obviously, when I was like 6 or 7 watching this. There's a scene where it's just casual human trafficking, like no big deal. The fiance of Wang gets stolen and placed in this brothel. So then Kurt Russell goes in as a nerd trying to ask for her so he can kind of, we'll just buy her back or steal her back. Like, again, this is just like casual human trafficking in a comedy in 1986. Like, that's hilarious. But he's like, I'm really in the mood for one with green eyes. And again, they're in Chinatown. So it's all like Chinese women. And the like mistress of the brothel is like, Chinese girls don't come in green eyes or something like that. And then that piques the interest.
I did like the ghost groping scene that he's trying to grope the Mao Ying on the table when she's knocked out. She's like Cosby styled out on the table, and he tries to touch her through her chest, but he goes through her chest because he's a ghost. And then he starts, what do you call it? Talking to himself, saying, "I can't wait till I get a body."
I don't even think I remember that because I'm so overjoyed when I see the wedding scenes. Again, I'm a kid and I'm like, the dresses, the makeup, the headpieces.
Right, I'm a
like,
guy. Is like, I know what he's trying to do.
costuming.
Because I was like, why does he put his hands through her chest? Like, oh, he's trying to grow. At first, like, what is he doing? Because he keeps growing through her body with his ghost hands. It's like, dude, yeah. And he's talking about he can't touch her. He's trying to grope her.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
What did you think about, so Lo Pan, God, I don't know. I just thought he's like iconic. His hair, his
He was
like
fun.
costume, his
He was a fun-
long nails.
Yeah,
He was
a fun
funny
character.
too.
Yeah, I tell you, the wheelchair. I should do like a montage clips of just him in his wheelchair. He was hilarious, answering the phone and stuff. I don't know. It's just funny seeing him in his wheelchair. I thought his quips and lines were funny.
It was funny, but again, he was scary looking.
Well, the green eye or the laser light eyes coming out of the mouth and eyes, that was pretty effective.
Mhm.
Like that was a very John Carpenter-ish thing. It's a very couple John
Is it?
Carpenter moments of just
Okay.
just the freaky, a little bit. That's a little bit of the horror, old school. The light coming out of the eyes and mouth. It's a very disconcerting image of just like and the lights coming out, very demonic. And I love the puppetry with the floating head that gets stabbed. I love that kind of stuff. You know, it's the tongue that came out and like ate something out of its
Yep.
eye or something. You could tell it was someone's under a glove type costume coming through the.
Okay. Oh,
but
yeah,
like a sock puppet, but still, I loved it. I love that old school makeup and puppetry.
Me too. Actually, I actually noted how much I really like, still to this day, the effects in this movie.
Yes, it's
Like,
it's
it's
fun, it's cheesy,
fun.
but there's something
Yeah.
about it that it's hard. I don't know how to explain it, but the puppetry of these, which would just be CGI today.
Mhm.
So, but there's something about that floating head and it smiled and stuff. You could tell it was real puppets, and there's something because it just looks realish. Like it looks not real in the sense that we know it's not a real
Yeah.
creature, but there's something. It's there, and all the actors are looking at it. You know, and there's something about that we don't have today.
And I had kind of forgotten about, so there's a lot of creatures in this movie. There was that Sasquatch predator looking thing that ends up at the end stowing a ride, you know, in.
Yeah, it's called the
in-
Wild Man, apparently.
Oh, I
part of
didn't
the
know it had a
credits.
name. It
Wi-
looks like a Sasquatch, but with the predator head.
It's a weird creature. It's like we're supposed to be scared of this thing, but if you recall in the movie, Kim Cattrall, Gracie's the character Gracie kicked it in the back of the knee or leg even at one point in the big action sequence at the end, and it went down like a twig.
I don't know how scary it was supposed to be either, because it hitches a ride, it stows away at the end in Jack's truck, like in, you know, typical 80s fashion. You know, you think it's the end, but then it's not.
That's the classic John Carpenter horror storytelling, because in horror movies, even when the person gets away, the girl gets away at the end, we always get some sort of indication. Are they really safe?
It's
Stand
not
by,
over.
stand by for safety.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a horror movie move. That wasn't again. This is not Indiana Jones wouldn't do this. Indiana Jones film doesn't have a false ending, but this is a John Carpenter horror movie guy even though this is not a horror movie in the sense of there's a couple of creatures and stuff, but that ending is very much a horror movie ending.
Good insight. I'm not a big horror person, so I
I
wouldn't
am,
have
yeah.
known that. But to me, it seems just very 80s-esque, but I like
the thing's
this
called the
point of
Wild
view.
Man. It's called Wild Man.
Okay.
The creature is called the Wild Man.
Yeah. I mean, again, this movie is unlike anything else. It's hard to describe, and it was hard to market. The premise is crazy. All of the magic and the mysticism and everything, the characters, it's just so much fun. It would be really difficult. I'm not sure how I would think about this movie if I watched it for the first time as an adult.
Sure.
But to me, it's just so much nostalgia because it's fun, and the lightning effects, like Weird Science had it too. It was big in the 80s, like the lightning out of the hands and stuff.
And I feel bad. I feel bad because I know behind the scenes here, when you, of course, invited me to come on the premiere episode, I'm very honored that you did that. You asked me which one, and of course, my brain went to Tombstone because I could talk about it right now without any kind of, I wouldn't have to rewatch the film type thing. But I'm like, no, I'm going to do that anyways for my Western podcast. So I didn't even tell you, and maybe I should have. I'm sorry, but I didn't even tell you that I hadn't seen the film.
I didn't know that. I probably would have had you pick a different. It probably would have been a different discussion had you had the same nostalgic memories
I
as
don't.
me. But the
That's right,
different
because I don't have any
perspective is
retro.
fine.
I don't have any retro
Yeah.
memories, so I don't. So I'm coming in fresh. So I attacked it that way, and I mean that's why I picked. Well, if I gotta rewatch a film, I may as well watch something I haven't seen before. But I didn't tell you that.
That's so funny. Well, also, I didn't say just any pick. I wanted the first few episodes to be certain films, and so I only gave you a choice of like a handful.
I'm sorry, and I apologize. So whoever covers Tombstone, they better do a good job. And of course,
well, I have an idea for Tombstone.
I'm a Tombstone nerd, and I just love that film so much. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think I've only seen that like one time.
Oh.
Like 30 years ago or whatever.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
there you go. So it's just flipped
so,
around. So that,
Yep.
Big,
yeah.
Tombstone's my big Trouble in Little China. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So I want to wrap up.
Okay.
But we have to talk about the three, what are they called? Like thunder, lightning, and the three storms.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts?
Okay.
For me, it was just their entrance, their skills,
Right.
everything about it. I was just like mesmerized. I freaking love it.
Okay,
With the hats.
Well, the hats. Okay. I will say this again. I get why people would got a kick out of it. See, I watched it knowing, okay, I see why people got a kick out of this, but at the same time, the hats were so oversized.
That's part of it. Yes,
I know,
they couldn't even see.
No, they can't see. Well, you did notice there's spaces between like the bamboo sticks or whatever, so they can't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Geordie LaForge from Star Trek: The Next Generation, how you can't see. Okay, he wears glasses across his eyes because he's blind. So the actor wears these prop glasses, so you can't see his eyes, but the actor can see through the glasses. But basically, he looks through slits in the glasses. That's the same thing with these bamboo oversized. They're so oversized. It's like, again, like Naked Gun. It'd be like if Naked Gun was doing a parody of this film. Their hats would be that. You ever see Spaceballs? Right?
Yeah, I've seen Spaceballs.
Dark helmet. You know, the helmet's so big on Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, Rick Moranis.
Me up as these like why are they so big? So and then what was even more confusing because their faces were covered. Then they spent half the film with them off. So I had a hard time keeping track of these are the same characters without their costumes on. So I was a little bit confused about who's with who. So when they start doing their magical powers, that's one of the storms without the hat on.
Yeah.
So I was confused about the costume change.
Luxurious long hair. And the one like literally blows up at the end.
Yeah, why did he? Was he just trying to like? He killed himself to kill the characters. Was that the idea? He wanted to take the building down, saying, "Well, I'm going to kill myself to kill Jack Burton and the gang." Because
you're thinking way too much. And I don't know.
Well, he self-destruct. He self-destruct, and the building came down. Only a little bit of it around him. But he basically sacrificed his life to kill Jack Burton and the gang, and they just ran away like 20 feet. It's like, okay, well,
because his boss, was easy. Because Lopan had already been killed with a super awesome knife throw to the forehead,
which was a callback to the beer bottle catch scene.
It's all in the reflexes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway.
But I think he was just like, because he's the one, I think he's Thunder. He's so angry. He literally got so angry that he exploded. I don't know.
Yeah, well, steam came out of his nose like a kettle ready to boil. You know,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. There were so many just thrown in components to this movie that for me made it just fantastically, amazingly 80s awesome.
It is. And here's the thing. So as a first-time viewer in 2023, yes, I will say this as part of your retro made podcast is that it made me feel young again. Like it made me like, oh yeah, that's what makes the 80s special. It was the soundtrack, the special effects, the costume, the makeup, the hair, everything was 80s. And so, yeah, it's like, yeah, this is an 80s movie and that's why the 80s are the best.
We didn't. I have to ask you this because I actually posed this question on Facebook. So I think it's actually called, so at the beginning of the movie, the Baja, it's called like a Baja jacket.
I owned one. I'll see if I can find a picture of it.
What did you call it though? We didn't they were regional. Dang it.
Nobody
can remember.
But I was a surfer dude. Like I was a beach bum guy. And so I had one for sure. And I love those things. It was one of my favorite jackets of all time. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. I think I wore it when I was 15 or 16 years old. They were around for a while, and
they're
absolutely
back again. Like people wear them again now.
I love it. It's my favorite of all time. I love those jackets.
It's like
It's
it
like a Mexican
epitomizes
hoodie.
that time period.
I don't know what.
Yes,
to call
it is, but we called it something, and I believe that there's different regional slang terms for them.
Yeah, and that's funny that
my
you asked because I
whole-
had one.
nobody
I don't
can
know what we
remember.
called it. No.
So listeners, please let me know. Comment, either on Facebook or on YouTube, or email at retromadepodcast@gmail.com. What did you call this Baja jacket? There's terms for it. I'd love to know. I just had to remember that. Okay, so this super fun talking Big Trouble in Little China with you, but we can't remain in 1986, Ryan. We have to get back to the real world, unfortunately.
I know.
But I am super honored to have you guest on my very first episode of the Retromade podcast. I cannot thank you enough for joining me.
And I talk too much, so I'm sorry.
That's why you're a good podcaster.
Oh, is that how it works?
So speaking of,
yes,
you have a lot of projects, and I want people to know about them. What are you up to, and where can they be found?
You make it sound more than really. So I do the One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast with you, and of course our fellow co-host Kyle. So just Google, just the easiest thing to do. People always give just Google One More Round Rocky Series podcast, and it'll show up where we're found. I also do It's a Long Road, the Rambo series podcast. Again, just Google that, and I do that with my co-host Dom, and we are currently on season 4, covering the 4th Rambo film. So we're kind of nearing the end of that series, and I have some ideas to do with him afterwards with Dom if he wants to do that with me. But that's a fun. He's a great guy, and he's a lot of fun, and I think we're doing a lot of fun and good work on that. We just started Rambo, the 4th film. Then I also do a podcast called The Worst of the Best podcast with my brother Jason. That's about once a month that we get around to doing that, and that's just another of those side project where we curate a list of something, top something, whether it's a conspiracy theory, a movie, or actor, or whatever it is. We talk about each item in the list, and then we pick at the end, independent of each other, what we think is the worst from that list. Yeah, that's the big 3 projects or podcasts that I do, and I just enjoy podcasting. It's a lot of fun, and I get to meet people. I think it's the funnest thing. So people like you, Katie.
Oh, and I'm so glad that you have them, because otherwise I wouldn't know you. You're a joy to listen to, and I'm excited for your new projects that you.
Oh, the Western.
We'll have to stay tuned. We'll have to stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, for you that are listening, if you like the show, please tell a friend. We can be nostalgic nerds together, and a nice rating goes a long way too. Hint, hint. But until next time, be kind. Rewind.